Well, hello to everybody in the Zoom room. Welcome to the virtual events group, semi-monthly irregular meetings where we tackle subjects, all sorts of subjects that have to do with making better meetings, making better conferences, and helping your businesses be better at what they do. At the virtual events group, our business is to help other companies solve their event problems, whether that's getting new audiences, new topics. And so I'll just give you a quick look at some of our upcoming things before I'll introduce our guest for the day. And let me just, can you see my screen? Mm, yes. So let me tell you where you can find us this summer. We're pretty excited. In June, on June 17th, we'll be out in Las Vegas at Infocom. Infocom is a show for pro audiovisual folks, people that make all the wonderful display signage, things that you've seen everywhere, people that make sound equipment. It's a great show for anybody who office buildings, just wherever you see an LED light, a display, you'll find it at Infocom. And we are looking at the subject of retail at Infocom. So if you're going to be there, send me a note and let's meet up. After that, we head out to Cupertino, where we'll be at Silicon Valley Video Summer Camp, another show that focuses on AV pros and events people and content creators, but we cater to the Bay Area companies there. So if you're LinkedIn or Apple or Microsoft, Meta, you're likely to be there with us and find us. And finally, in September, we head off to Berlin for IFA. IFA is the largest consumer technology and home show in Europe, if not the world. And we are building a couple of exciting things there. One is Robots on the Runway, a robot humanoid show. And another is a creator hub experience, talking about the creator economy, and then a special retail program where we're cross-pollinating US retailers and European retailers. So with that, you can, if you're going to be at any of those, let us know. And with that, what I want to do is switch back. My buttons broke on my thing today, so I'm going to have to do this manually. I'm going to introduce you to Sonya. Um, and can we see that? No, because my buttons aren't working. Okay, we're just going to go to plain old Zoom. Everybody see Sonia on screen? And this is going to be pretty interactive. What I really want you to get to know Sonia and get to know her mind because it's pretty wild. We've had many conversations about what it means to be visible. And because how many you can show your hands, you can put a hand in a window. How many of you use LinkedIn daily? Just get a good sense, which I can't see, but somebody will tell me. Um, so we have come to rely on LinkedIn. There we go. We see hands up all over the place. We've come to rely on LinkedIn as some cross between a social media platform and a database for getting business done, at least in my brain. What Sonia has shown me and taught me is that LinkedIn really is a database and they really do optimize for search. And there really is a way to express who you want to be and how you want to be thought of so that the right people find you. But first, let me tell you a little bit about Sonia because it's kind of blow your mind. Dream Development is her company now, and it's a consulting practice, with 20 years of experience helping visionaries of all sorts, lawyers, doctors, speakers, innovators, entrepreneurs, helping them realize their dream journey along the way. Before she started her company, she was also the head speaker of marketing, head of speaker marketing at United Talent Agency, UTA. She was a former Perplexity Business Fellow and part of the Google Search Priority User Program. So Sonia lives, dreams, and speaks about being visible. And she sees, and I'm going to read her words, the visibility economy as a micro industry within the creator economy. It's a new and time sensitive reality in which AI search engines, social platforms, and human networks determine who gets surfaced, recommended, and ultimately paid. And so to navigate it, she has developed what she calls AEO Edge. And AEO Edge is a way to help speakers and job seekers get found by the people they need to get found by. So we often think about LinkedIn as a place to go find people, but it's also a place to get found, the dating service for business, if you will. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Sonya, and ask her. I've just kicked this off, and then invite you to save up your questions. Sonya, talk to us about why visibility is so important and why it's so hard.
That's an interesting question. I just as a point of correction, I actually started Dream Development and then worked at UTA while I still had my company. So UTA is within that 20 some odd year time span. And that's a really important point because my company Dream Development helps people to develop their dreams, but you don't develop your dreams in isolation, right? You actually want your dreams to have an impact. And the synergy between dream development and joining UTA is that UTA speakers in particular wanted to make sure that thought leaders, celebrities, um, up and coming speakers had access to the audiences that want to hear what they have to say. So that visibility conversation is transferable from dreamers to speakers, also to job seekers. It's funny, I wanted to do another disclaimer. When I get excited, I will start to talk quickly. So at any point, somebody can raise their little hand in the chat, and I'll know that I should slow down and go back because I am excited about this. I think that we shouldn't
Yeah,
do things in isolation. And I think of things as seed and soil. And when you understand the seed of what you are, you want to plant that in the soil that something can grow. And if it grows, it's visible. It engages the environment around it, and then it causes people to actually benefit from that seed.
I see somebody liking that. So, so, so let's ask the audience again. Show of hands. Do you use LinkedIn every single day? And think about why it's a different social platform than the others for you. And and Sonia, I'd love to ask you, what are your thoughts? I mean,
Mhm.
we're all on multiple platforms. How do you
Yeah.
see LinkedIn as different?
It's interesting in my social media career journey. I will say that I was really heavy into Facebook and or I've just rejoined Facebook after probably a 7-year hiatus. And I was underwhelmed that most people thought LinkedIn was only for jobs because I thought, oh my goodness, like this is way more than jobs. This is about, this is like, yeah, I can read the LinkedIn like I can read the New York Times. And I could find information about what's going on in the world from a data-driven perspective that could be missed. And I say, I was on Facebook before because for one of my clients, I had raised funds for them, but I only used Facebook. I never even thought about LinkedIn. And if I believed that people thought it was more useful than just job search at the time, I would have been on LinkedIn. So I've had this evolution of appreciation for how the platform has grown, how it continues to evolve.
Yeah,
And it really hit me when I was working with UTA and working with speakers, because I would say to them, if you were not a celebrity, but you're, a Peloton instructor who's looking to get, more engagement or and I do have some celebrities who are now on LinkedIn, but I would say search yourself on Google. LinkedIn is like the second
yeah,
thing that hits. And then the question is, so what does it say about you? Do they know who you are and do they know what to do because of who you are? Because if that's not the case, then your LinkedIn is not serving you. And so that was something I would definitely hype up to the folks that I was working at when I was there. And since leaving, even more so with this expansion of opportunity through AI, understanding that LinkedIn is a search engine, that Google was picking it up, but now those LLMs, which is called large language models, right? LLMs are Chat, Claude. Gemini, Perplexity. The opportunity to self-author to this activity where people are going to chat GPT before they're going to Google. But what did you say about yourself? And if you're looking for work, why aren't you saying what you want a recruiter to see? So it just feels like we have this
Yeah.
when you were reading my bio, I talked about a time gated opportunity because search has changed. Google a couple of weeks ago just added a shift, and the shift in search is from keywords to context. So how am I answering questions? Wait, context. So I need a sofa. Keyword sofa. Well, wait, I need a sofa that goes with my Mediterranean background that has a Chanel cover. Like I can give more layer, more context. And so I think that's one of the distinctions that people are searching with more depth, and you can say who you are with more depth.
That's right. And I think I'm going to underscore something you said because I don't know if it went by too quickly, but it's not just people searching for you on LinkedIn. It is LLMs. It is algorithms. So if I go to ChatGPT and I say, tell me the best speakers who talk about hybrid events in the Bay Area, they're going to LinkedIn and they're looking at profiles to come up with that answer as much as if I went to LinkedIn and asked the same question. So it's
Yep.
really, it underscores that point that you need LinkedIn to say what you wanted to say about you.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a really, I would not have gotten to that question if I had not been the Perplexity Business Fellow, because I began to look at Perplexity blew my mind as a search tool because at the time I didn't, first off, I still don't trust, you know, AI without researching or diving into it to go, okay, don't hallucinate on me. I need to fact check this. So, I need to say that. But Perplexity gave me a bit more ease because it's sourced. I could find the links. I could go do the research myself. And then I thought, well, wait a minute, where are they getting this from? And how are they doing this? And who are they working with? And then I kind of went under the hood and discovered they actually have a publishing program to work with publishers so that they can provide them with the content so that when people are searching, they can be found and it's more credible. So that
Yeah.
started me thinking about answer engine optimization, AEO. How can you be the answer? How can I be found in Forbes? How can I be found in blah, 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 blah? And maybe that's harder to do because it's third party validation, but I can be found on a podcast. I can be found on my website and I can be found on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So let's talk about, I mean, you want to be found by trusted people. Let's just talk about the dark side of all of this for a minute. I mean, I probably get, I think half of my LinkedIn queries to connect come from people, and maybe it's my age, who swear they're a coach of some sort. They're going
Mm,
to make me $1 million. They're going to teach me to be a better speaker. They're going to, and do you think, I mean, is that to me that the more and more I find people that I'm uninterested in being acquainted with, I like to start in real life with the people
mhm,
that I've met somewhere and then make
mhm,
them my LinkedIn friends. Is that
mhm.
a typical thing?
I will
And
say that that was more typical for me until I optimized my profile.
uh-huh.
I haven't gotten that type of spam in a long time. And I think that's one of the benefits of a profile. I want to explain a little bit about the update that LinkedIn had.
Yeah.
LinkedIn had an AI update. Some people call it 360 Brew. Some people say it's not called that. They had an update. That update has helped to deliver to me the people that the AI believes should find me. So the spammy stuff is actually reduced significantly. And the people who can actually benefit from what I'm talking about are showing up in my engagement. So,
And that's why we're going to learn how to optimize. And I just want to, we are live streaming now. I think we had a little hiccup in the beginning. So if anybody on LinkedIn is on the live stream and has a question, you can pop it in the live stream chat. And if anybody here has a question for Sonya, please pop it in the chat window and we'll watch it too. And at the end of the session, Sonia's going to prepare a bunch of resources for you depending on your questions and your thoughts, and we will get them out to you. So a little mid-session housekeeping. Sonia, should we move the conversation to talk about optimization and talk about
Yeah.
you've got some real tangible results to share with people, right?
Yes, I do. So there's a quote by, I love this book called Letters to a Young Poet. And I'm going to look to the side because that's my other computer where I'm going to share my screen. And there's a quote in that book that says, live the question so that you can live into the answers. I think that we're in a time where we're living the question and we're building the answers. So I referenced earlier that LinkedIn had that update. I started reading about it, and there are different people I follow, and I'll share their resources with us. But I thought, oh my goodness, what are people doing? Because people, their engagement was dropping, people were freaking out, like what's going on? And so what I started doing is trying to solve that problem. How do I solve and become a solution? And what I'm just sharing here on the screen now, um, are some of the results. And I can talk through some of this. I
Yeah.
mean, when this started happening, I got into my happy place, I have to say. So these are actual people who's, and some of them may be here, who I optimize their profiles. And this first person, gosh, he is a speaker industry professional, is an agent, and he's like, Sonia, I've never seen anything like this. And so, and noting the time, like I did the optimization in November, December. He actually optimized over that time. And this first post, this jump, maybe he would get like 1,000 views or whatever, but this 192,000 and 110,000 is huge. So, you know, it's like there's a there. And he and I have since like talked about, was that a fluke? Blah, 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 blah. Fluke or not, it didn't happen until after he engaged, optimized his profile. So there's that.
Well,
Uh,
it's funny you should say fluke or not. So
mhm,
I practice with an A, and we're going to look at mine in a minute, and then we can look at anybody else's who wants to share. But I looked at an AI optimization for LinkedIn, and
mhm,
it wrote something that we actually, it was like a psychiatrist. It said, I said, I'm old. What's your biggest obstacle? And I said, well, it's that I'm older. And it said, well, use that to your advantage. And then it rewrote my post would start with a funny story or an incident from the past. At the end of the night, and this was like a 10-hour night, I wrote a post that did not sound like me at all.
mhm.
As a matter of fact, my son called me in the morning and said, Mom, what'd you post? That didn't sound like you. It rocked it in terms of optimization. So
Really,
I think we'll talk about A/B testing some of this stuff also.
absolutely.
And
And that's
yeah.
a really important thing. Again, live the question. It, instead of trying to follow formulas, and there are a lot of them out there, and a lot of folks are like, do this, do this, do this. It's jazz, it's improv. Let's A/B test, let's play it out, throw something up for 10 days. How is it going? But it also means you have to stay committed and engaged and curious.
So
Um,
all of these graphs that you're showing us
mhm.
are spikes um in engagement.
Yes. The second one is a college professor. Shout out to LMU. And he posts a lot about film and AI. But he when he started sending me this his results like every 2 hours, because he was like, this, I've never seen this happen. And to be fair, I'm directing you all to the tool that LinkedIn is using to bring you to the people that it wants to be found. They want us to stay on the platform. They want people to engage. So this is doable. And again, I started doing this, you know, from the perspective of, like, what is the question that someone needs answered, and then how can this profile be the answer to that question? So that's kind of my approach with it. The second one is a speakers bureau that started optimizing, and again, phenomenal results. And the last one is a AI filmmaker who didn't have an about section and ended up adding an about section, and this is the results that she saw over several months. So
So I'm going to put you on the spot. Can you give us an example of what an un what a non-optimized um, post might be compared to
post
an op
or profile.
I'm yeah, well an about. Let's just say an about. Let's start there.
Oh, okay. So an unoptimized about section. About sections should typically have in the first like 3 lines. Metrics. Give them metrics, tell them what you did, tell them why they should continue to read. And it's not for the AI, it's for the humans, actually. Well, it's for both, but definitely the AI wants to see those metrics. And so for dream development, for example, I had started it off more with my storytelling about the history of dream development. Instead, I went and started talking about quantifiable milestones that have made dream development what it is. That was an uptick.
So like you've helped 20,000 people gain more uh
Exactly. Hmm.
up, yeah, more money, more opportunity. Yeah. Um, any questions from anybody listening so far? And you can just pop in, we'll find you. Okay. Then, so we're going to do something that's going to be a little painful for me, but we're going to do it. And so we're going to go to my LinkedIn profile. And Sonya knows we've discussed this. I wrestle with it because I do so many different things that it sort of looks chaotic. And so I asked Sonya to run her optimization on what I've done. But I think the I'm picking me, but I think as you see her go through my profile, you can take everything she's telling me and use it as your own advice. But after she's done with me, you can jump in for some personalized advice. So go ahead, Sonia. I'll just wince mildly. So
Okay.
I need work.
Yeah, well, it does say it needs improvement. And to be fair, let me go over here. This first tab is just a general optimization about what's working, what's not working, and what should you change. And so as you scroll down, this
And
is
then, but you tell me if you go back up there, you tell me how long it's going to take me, which is really
I
good.
do.
Right. Like,
And this is estimated hours, and processing. It's funny, AI can give us answers like this. We have to make a decision. It's funny, I was saying to someone yesterday, instruction is wasted until a decision's been made. And most of our time is spent trying to decide. And so what's great about the optimizations is that it's given people frameworks and options. They don't have to do it. And even the people I just showed you, they didn't optimize everything that I provided them with. They thoughtfully went through the suggestions and decided what they would share and what they wouldn't, like that kind of thing. Okay, so it's important to know that with the AI update, it focused on these sections here: your photo, your headline, connections, and this will be important as we talk about newer people getting onto LinkedIn, your featured section, your about section, and your experience, right? And you are just passing, so you're halfway there. And there's this thing about the 3-second test, instant click factors. People on their mobile, it's like, oh, is this interesting? Should I click? Now I've clicked. The 30-second test is, should I stay? Is there anything here for me? And the question is, are they your ICP, your ideal customer profile? So the question is, have you written your profile, your about section, your featured section, your headline? Is it written to attract the folks that you want to engage? Similarly, with people looking for work, does my headline attract the recruiter? Like when I optimize for people looking for work, I optimize it and I created this thing called the recruiter's brain and said, okay, what is a recruiter looking for based on this particular person's job search focus? And then it's not just optimizing for the job you're looking for, but it's optimizing for what a recruiter is looking for when they look at your profile. But onward. So
so yeah, so photos. Give us a tip or something. So I use a very old photo, and I do it because I think it says visually. I've been in this business a long time. If you look at my LinkedIn, it has a Palm Pilot and I don't know, some SeaTac phone. It's ancient, and I did it very purposefully. But maybe that's not the right thing to do. Um,
yeah,
and so, like, what other struggles do people have with photos?
that's
Um,
a good one. I'm going to go to the hidden fixes and your ICP over here
hmm
because it talks about the photo. Now, I
Hmm.
found the photo suggestions are all over the place generally. There are some very specific strategies that people have found that are working for their photos. Initially, it's pretty similar that they want at least 60% of your face into the little circle. And that's the AI. Like there are folks who are showing their full bodies, they're a little far back. And I think the
Their
issue
avatars.
they can have avatars too. With the photo piece though, it's can it read your face? Is this really a person? And that's not about the humans, that's more about the AI. So it says a soft, clean, light gray or desaturated teal background that contrasts your hair and your wardrobe. So it needs the contrast without overpowering, tight crop around the face, but
Hmm.
readable and as a small mobile thumbnail. So it needs to pop on mobile and it needs to be able to be seen by the AI. So this is giving you the fix. This is the recommended fix for you. And this is why. A neutral background makes Robin recognizable in comments and DMs. Planners see this avatar over and over on the NAB and Infocom content.
Right.
So,
Yes.
and folks get creative. I have one other friend who has, in particular, has a very creative photo, and has chosen to keep it. There are other parts of the profile that are
Yeah.
important too. So if you're not going to change your photo, not the end of the world, but you can try it out and then see what that does for you.
Well, let's hold on photos because it's so important. Anybody have a question that they want to shout out about photos? Everybody's happy with their photo. Um, okay, so let's go on to what you want to go back up. Is that where are
Well,
we?
so we had talked about your headline, and I this is your actual current photo and banner.
Like I said, it's a Palm Pilot. Yep.
That's yeah, and I know that there's something that you're doing there for historical purposes. And when we started looking at possible headlines, and this is your current headline,
Yes.
and here's some recommended. So I went through and thought about, again, because we hadn't talked about this. So I imagined what might be useful for you. So there are a couple of different angles. There's the curiosity angle, which goes back to the recruiter's brain idea, the creator economy and events angle. There's the human, playful, recovering journalist hook. And then there's the authority point of view. And this is the recommended one. But this, I think, is one of the pieces that that
And I want
speaks
to
to the
stress,
history.
I want you to stress to people, you did use some AI, but you used a lot of human uh,
I use my brain.
talent. Yes.
Yeah, me and my
Yes.
brain. And I have different I'm an AI agnostic, so I'm not all into ChatGPT, Claude, or Perplexity or Gemini. It's all of them. Because I really want to have a curated um recommendations. I want curated
Yeah.
recommendations. I'm not just copying and pasting. So
No, I'm loving. I bet nobody in this audience actually knows, and you have to read way down my LinkedIn profile to find out that I was the editor of PC Magazine, like pretty much when it first started. Um,
but here's the thing. Editor-in-chief of PC Magazine, as a pioneer to
yeah,
digital maven, I don't know
yeah.
if you need that Palm Pilot anymore.
You got a point. No, it's really good feedback. And I think as I said to the audience, it's personal feedback for me, but it can be transcribed pretty easily, I think, to whatever you are doing. And I think it's finding a clever way to summarize. Let me just hang to summarize your who you want to be seen as.
Yeah. Yeah. And then,
It's
there's the events that you're doing, and then there's the hosting that you do. When you're on the stage, you're the moderator, you're the thought leader who's helping us to understand what we're digesting. And so we might actually decide that this is a great one to have when you're not promoting an event. This might be the right one, but if you're scrolling down to
And it's another good lesson from Sonya that nothing is set in stone here. You
mm-mm,
can change this. Yes, I've been doing events, since they were invented, or I can take the PC one in between events,
mhm,
or I can do a problem solving one about solving your events,
Yeah.
um, uh, your biggest challenges at events. Um, so it is funny, and I think what Sonia does so well is makes it so obvious. Um, like if I looked at just my post today, I posted about speaking about Infocom. I posted an article I wrote for a board that I sit on, and it was about technology in Taiwan. And I posted something about the NAB show and how we actually live streamed, and it was a rather technical post. So three different sides of me in one day, and that sort of blows my brain and my time limit for the day. And I'm sure you all feel the same way. So how do you wrap it up in a nice bow, right?
Oh, I'm going to stop sharing for a second to go back to something. I think this is really important to emphasize that you have 16,000 people following you,
I do.
right?
And I don't just let anybody in who asks. I
Okay, then.
carefully vet.
So it's a curated group of people who are looking forward to your impact. Um, there is a there are so many different conflicting things about the algorithm or whatever. And I was listening to something by LinkedIn CMO talking about like guys, like the algorithm, there's so many other factors other than the algorithm that affects your engagement that it's not what you think. And so there is this kind of best practice floating out there that 2 to 3 posts a week are okay. Some folks are posting every day. There's a sense that if you're posting 3 times in one day, it could be depleting the impact of your posting because, again, it's a lot going out. So the 3 posts in one day, I'd love to kind of beta test that and see what happens if you know,
No, I love it. We talked about it's actually in my notes from when we talked. We talked about your comments on overposting.
yeah, oh, that's yeah. So that's why I actually stop sharing for a second. I just have to say this, and again, the first LinkedIn guru that I started working with is Yasmin Alik. His name is Jay. And shout out to him, and I definitely would recommend people following him. But this idea of commenting before you post, it is such a misnomer that people think that just because you posted, people saw it. They didn't see it. Maybe they saw it, maybe they didn't. But if you go comment, if I'm going to go to Stephen Bartlett and he's talking about something and I'm like, ooh, let me comment on this. People, all the people who are following Stephen Bartlett, especially if I'm in the first, like, I don't know, 20 comments, that's automatic, like, oh, what's she talking about? Or, oh, I like what she said. And so spending time in other people's orbits, bring them back to your space.
Right.
And then your posts are likely to have more engagement.
And then when you do comment on other people's posts, it's more than just a like or congratulations.
Please, yeah. And don't the AI comments, don't do the AI comments because LinkedIn is cracking down on that. Although they do have like rewrite this with AI, but they want AI to be used as an assistant, not as a, oh yeah, great. That's a thoughtless kind of comment with a EM dash in it. And there's no substance there. And so they're cracking down on that and they won't actually surface those
Yeah.
comments from what I'm hearing.
And I don't know how
Also,
much you know about this, Sonia, but they just made an announcement about creators that basically you could open up a shop as a creator now
mhm,
on
yep.
LinkedIn. I think they're going to do like 40,000 of them
Mhm.
in the next year. So you can teach a master class, if you will, on whatever your skill is.
Yes.
And you can make some money at it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of LinkedIn. Again, expanding and becoming more useful for people. They've got one of the follow-up resources I have is Jessica Jensen, who's their CMO, talking about some of the things that they're doing with BrandLink. And your point, I think, is mentioned in that as well. So
Okay.
also when you post and people comment. Like comment back to the comments on your own post. It helps.
So it's a conversation.
It is a conversation. Yep. Alrighty then. So we're at 12:35. I can go back to 3:35. I'm in LA. So I can go back to your profile and we can
Yeah,
dive in
let's
on.
go a little further down that for another 5 to 6 minutes, and then
Okay.
we'll ask some questions again because I think it's good general knowledge, and I feel like we barely touched.
Mm. So let's just leave people with the parts of their profile that really matter are the photo, the headline, the featured section, the about section, and the experience section. Let's start there to begin the optimization. So in your optimization, there's a section particularly focused on these things. And then there's a lift table that projects that if you do these fixes, this is what your expected profile views should look like. And again, these are the reasons why you want to make these fixes. So when you get in here and you guys start working on it, this is going to help you kind of see the value of it and what to focus on first, which goes back to those 16 hours of updates. 30-day rollout, things that if you did this in the next 24 hours would give you better wins than you would see if you waited. Um, Call to actions. And because you have those different ways of engaging people, there are a couple of different ways that you can convert people. And so you can play around with these as well to see, okay,
I love it if you're programming a similar event. Call
hey
me.
there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Um,
Oh,
so
your ICP. We talked a little bit about this because and this we're in a time where specialization feels dangerous. Like people are being laid off, there's all that kind of stuff going on. And then I call myself a creative generalist because I'm not a specialist particularly. I do look at things from a multimodal perspective. But for you, because there's the speaker moderator portion of it, but then there's also the programming partner, the producer, this gives you a couple of ways to play around with talking to those different ICPs. So when you talked about your 3 different posts, they have different, you can have more than one ICP come to you. It's just knowing what you are inviting them to do and how you want to engage them. And that's what this section speaks to.
yeah, yeah, it's making my brain yeah. It's make me want to quit this meeting right now and go work on this profile. But and we all know, and you expect a return um on your investment. This is a time investment. Sonia, I know you showed the optimization in terms of traffic, but there's been an optimization in terms of these people's careers as well, correct?
Yes. So Reese's Pieces. I don't think I talked about this, but chocolate and peanut butter create Reese's Pieces, right? That's always been for me the model for innovation or disparate things coming together for a solution. And so what started to really gnaw at me, and a lot of us are experiencing it in various ways, is this sense of AI is taking jobs. And now all of a sudden Sam Altman and the guys who started Anthropic are like, oh no, no, no. But interestingly enough, the Jessica Jensen link that I'm going to share as the CMO of LinkedIn talked about looking at the data on LinkedIn and how AI is actually not taking away lower entry jobs. Or yeah, she was just like that. There's actually data that's showing that it's not. So I didn't look at any of that data. I just felt like, wait, AI is not taking away jobs. Well, it's not replacing people, it's replacing tasks. And then
Yeah.
jobs are not being eliminated, they're evolving. And so that question for me made me think about how we've been using certain tactics for speakers to get greater visibility. And I started to wonder if that might be possible to use those same tactics to help people get jobs. And so I created this thing called the AI Job Search Visibility Kit. And it's a free tool, free 99, that I'm sharing with folks, and started sharing it out of the LinkedIn optimizations. That's like one of the things that led me to it. And since I'm starting to still get more feedback from people, but one of the folks got an offer and now works at Meta. Another person, the AI filmmaker, works at a gaming studio. Another person found a hidden job that hadn't even been advertised yet. So there was that. And then another person found a job at Google she would have never applied to. She's like, it wasn't even on my radar. And she ended up the job closed, but before it closed, she had filled out the assessment. She got in, passed the assessment, and now she's inside Google's network and can apply for any job that she's interested in for the next 24 months. So I'm not getting people jobs, but I'm definitely helping them search better. And
And
I
so
think,
we can find this on your website or the
you know
AEO?
what? That's an interesting thought. You might be able to find it on my website, but you're going to definitely have it as one of the resources after this
Okay.
meeting. The job search kit is here. And actually, I need to just, I'm going to add it to my LinkedIn profile at this point. So this is the tool.
I know you've been playing with it and beta testing it.
I
Yeah.
have been beta testing. And right here is this handy little dandy button for feedback. So as people are in here, they can send me, their thoughts. But it's really a super simple kit, meaning it's 17, 19 pages. Yep, I keep updating it. But I really want folks to just kind of move past the fear that they can't find work. And it starts with my Aunt Molly. You don't have to read all of that. So I love it because it's called compensation because they can never pay you what you're worth. So it really speaks to my passion around our brilliance is what makes this thing work. And just because you've been laid off doesn't mean you lack value.
Great. And can you use it for getting a new client? But if you're an author, and is it sort of applicable or getting a new event for me? And, is it
That's
worthwhile?
going to be the next version.
Hmm.
So, so I made this. This is a fiscally sponsored project, Creative Visions, which is a United Nations NGO, and I'm going to be creating more kits. This kit right now is focused for job seekers and people who have been laid off or restructured.
Love it.
So yes, I
Love it
do want
so
to create one
much.
for creatives. I want to create one for former athletes and also for folks who are looking for business or business development. I'd love to do that. But I want to make sure to get this one optimized and out into the world. So this has been my first focus.
Love it. So I think let's see. Yeah, we have a few more minutes. I know that Tyler, who's on this call, we talked about what you were going to talk about today. Yesterday, Tyler works with us, and she had a question for you that's very different than mine. So why don't I just turn it over to Tyler?
Hi.
Hello, Tyler.
So I was just wondering, as a younger person, I'm only a year out of college, what I can do to optimize my LinkedIn when I don't have extensive work experience past, non-corporate jobs, more like retail, food service, things like that. And I know I need to be posting more. That's something I've gotten from this so far, but I'm just wondering if you have any tips and tricks and things I can do to really elevate.
So I want you to take away that you should be commenting more, not just posting.
Okay.
And especially because you're new to LinkedIn. And I'd love to see your profile if you want to share it in the time that we have.
Want to do
Um,
a share screen?
Yeah, I can share my screen.
We are the bookends of the age spectrum.
this is a good thing. It's a perennial world. I think that just starting, commenting on other people's posts that you find interesting is going to be really important because it's going to help you build a network. If you're commenting thoughtfully, it'll cause other people to follow you and DM you. So, I mean, it's like being LinkedIn is like being at a party and you just entered the room. So, who are you? Who do you want to talk to? And
Right.
start talking to them by commenting. There is some statistic I heard that there's more people on LinkedIn in a certain age group, but they're just reading everybody else's posts. They're not actually engaging. So click on your profile. Hmm.
In all fairness, Tyler started working here 2 days ago. So,
Cool.
and she's had so much to do. I'm sure optimizing her profile was uh, not there, but there you go. Well, you did. You changed. You have a job title.
Hmm.
Last
Yeah,
time I,
I was excited to do that.
Okay, so it's funny. Cynthia just put that's how we met because I was commenting on her profile. Yes,
Wow.
that's exact. Cynthia is actually going to be one of the resources I'm sharing. She's awesome. Okay, so Tyler, 80 connections. When you start to comment, it's going to help you to build more relationships with people. that's, you should connect to me. Like we should get connected. Your goals and what you're interested in is part of what will help you grow as well. So when you start following people who are consistent with where you want to go, master's student at Boston, marketing associate. So who are the marketing people that you're really interested in?
And the funny thing is, Tyler shared her professors all said, got to work on your LinkedIn, but they never tell you how.
Yeah, because they might not know.
Right. And they're all academics, and I'm trying to branch off from academia into more of the business and corporate world. And so
Mhm.
I need to kind of change that because I think most of my, like, as you're saying this, most of my connections are professors, academics,
Mhm.
students. And so I really need to branch out. And I'm going to look at Robin, who you're connected to, and add
Exactly.
those people.
Okay.
And yeah.
Seed and
Yeah,
soil. Remember I said seed and soil earlier?
yeah. You,
Are there like 10 to 15 companies that you're like, ooh, I love what they are doing in marketing?
Yeah,
I
for sure.
love reading about them. I love what they're posting about because company pages is a whole separate conversation for another day. But real talk, if you're looking to get engaged somewhere, most people are not commenting on people's company pages to
yeah.
elevate like what they're saying. And they want engagement because there's somebody's job to get engagement on that page. And so if you found 10 to 15 companies that you were super
Yeah.
excited about working at, or you like what they're talking about, or you even following their CEO or their CMO and then comment.
Yeah. And I'm going to toss in, you've met most of our clients now. I'm sure they'd be happy to engage with you. So you can start shifting the conversation from academia to certainly events. Um, and yeah,
But what
so
is missing, if you scroll down a little bit more, and that's a good point, Robin. What's missing is a POV.
Mm.
What are you excited about? I used to say people are not hiring you for just a job, they're hiring you for your personality. And while people say, "Oh, it's business, don't share your personality," again, going back to the CMO of LinkedIn, she uses like flamingo glasses when she's on because there's an energy around you don't have to be that serious. And there is a line between personal and professional, let's be clear, but more of who you are can help people to understand why they should engage with you.
and we have a question um, from Drew Sullivan. How important is it for the company leadership to have, Drew, you want to just yell it out? It disappeared off my screen. Uh,
I see it. It says question, how
yeah.
important is it for company leadership it's okay, Drew.
Mm.
To have LinkedIn pages/presence. Wouldn't company leaders want to have a presence in the space? Yes, they should, they would. And I think they're missing opportunities because sometimes they don't know how to have a POV. So there needs to be a position that they take. There needs to be something that they're sharing. Honestly, founders, there's a lot more founders on LinkedIn, and that's an example of how to have a leadership mindset and take a POV and share it on LinkedIn. I think that, but what's also important, Drew, and shout out to Drew because he was the 192,000 followers, just
Get
FYI.
out. Oh
Yeah,
no, it's been revealed.
he's the
Wow.
one. Yeah. He said I could share it. And I was like, I'm just gonna, whatever. So everybody else is, anonymous, but Drew said I could share it. So
We want to know what you said.
yeah, listen. Okay. But to be fair, everybody in a company can become an ambassador for a brand. It really depends on how that environment allows them to speak into those spaces. And I think that that's the challenge that a lot of folks are still trying to find their own voice. Oh, I don't want to say that. Oh, that actually might be an issue because somebody that I had an issue with might think I'm talking about them. And so, well, what are the things that we should be talking about? What is it that the company is focused on? What's driving revenue? Can we talk
And I
about
think
that? Or what's
a
driving
good company
culture?
with a good corporate culture will encourage their employees
Mhm.
and everybody to have, but there are some that really you should know your company's corporate culture before getting out there too much. And Like,
And that goes, but again, that one of the resources that I'll share references all of this, so that'll be helpful for people who
yeah,
have that question.
like
But yeah,
I mean, I follow CEOs like Ed Bastian at Delta because he's terrific. I mean,
yes, he
he's
is.
just really great on LinkedIn.
And that's a
Um,
great point too. Just like I had said with Tyler, to follow the companies and what they're saying, there are people who are doing it right. Part of my resource list are going to be people who y'all should follow based on some of the things that we've talked about here, which is why I didn't want to send a resource list ahead of time. I wanted it to come out of the conversation. But yes, there are Tashonda Brown Duckett from TIAA. She's a wonderful reference for somebody who's owning the space of leadership and having conversations around, not work-life balance. Like, what is that? Like, let's be real about that. So I think that there are some really great examples out there, and you can find the folks who inspire you.
yeah, it's funny, and it is funny. My observation is, so I spend a lot of time looking for AV people, engineering people, and scientists. They don't
Mhm.
post as much as the marketers do. I have to go, I have to go deeper. And LinkedIn, despite the fact that it is an AI forward company, does not have a great AI front facing feel. So their filters are, wouldn't you love to be able to say, who did I meet? Um, did my this is my Zoom's not responding. Wouldn't you love to say, who did I meet at that conference 2 years ago? Had blonde hair, was in the science business, about 6 foot 10. Wouldn't you like to do a contextual search on
Mhm.
LinkedIn? And why doesn't it happen?
They just actually started their own version of AI job search, so maybe they will at some point
Yeah,
add that layer into it. Yeah, context is infiltrating search from Google to LinkedIn. And I was trying to go, I actually did a little comparison to say, how does my AI job search visibility kit compare to what they've done? And I think the distinction is that it's on platform and the AI kit is outside of the platform. But you can use that platform as well, but theirs is
yeah,
contained on the LinkedIn platform.
yeah. I mean, you can imagine. I have 16,000 followers. I would like a little AI up front. And they tell me, they actually say it's a privacy issue when I talk to them. And then I say to them, but they're my first degree friends. They
Mhm.
opted in to be my friend. Why can't I just search for my first degree friends? It would be incredibly helpful. And you can to some degree. It's just still very clumsy.
Mm,
So
mm.
that's my LinkedIn rant that I'm to anybody that will listen to me. And yes, they swear it is getting better. And it is still, I think, versus any of the other social platforms, we'll call it the most trusted and most
Yeah.
focused on business. And that's, I guess, my other question to you. And um, so I don't react well. I think about going to LinkedIn for business. And so when somebody shares that their dog died or that their kids are sick, I sympathize, but I just blast past it. I don't engage. Um, am I like weird because of that? Like, should you be sharing that stuff?
Yes. I think
Okay.
that, well, when I say yes, I'm not like, should you be sharing that stuff? You should share what is authentic. Be authentic, but also understand that it's professionally like that person may not even be thinking about the fact that you saw it. They're thinking about the people who are in their network saw it, and that's who they really want attention from. It just might show up in your feed for some other reason, that maybe you love animals, right? And I think that um there is this there are different mindsets around it. Again, going back to the LinkedIn person who talked about, comedians are having a great time on LinkedIn um for a reason. And there's a culture that has shifted in work where it's been so stiff that there's a lack of like culture and humanity that people are looking for. And sometimes they might go farther than some people might be comfortable with. There are folks who won't post about their kids. It's this because LinkedIn is still a social channel at the end of the day. So it really goes back to finding your authentic voice and then looking to see, is that authentic voice serving you in terms of what your personal goals are? Not the goals of the platform. The platform is trying to serve all of us.
Yes, it is. And it does a surprisingly good job. So I'm going to put this up in case people came in late. I'm going to switch to PowerPoint here. This is how you get in touch with Sonya, even on her LinkedIn page. And you can find other people at this meeting as well. I'm going to ask for one last round of questions, but I
Oh,
don't.
wait, I want to highlight something that Drew wrote, that his viral posts combined cultural relevance, his professional work, and his lived experience. And I would co-sign that completely. And I think that it tapped in to people's like vein of interest.
Mhm.
And but that was also at a very particular time. It's interesting, Drew, because I was listening to something about when somebody will post something that they posted before, if they posted it right now, would it have the same impact? And those are the factors that have nothing to do with the algorithm, that have to do with timing. And yeah, so that's an
Yeah,
interesting
no,
piece.
timing. That's really, you say a few more words on that because it's really important. Yeah, yeah.
Time of day, there are no formulas to follow, only well-chosen calculations in the given moment. That is one of the statements I say all the time. And we want to believe that we can, hack the algorithm. And there are people who say they are doing it, and maybe they're pattern matching to doing that. But and this is a little controversial, but the reason I bring it up is because there was a time where, and a bunch of us were part of this conversation. We were talking about the fact that there are people who are getting more visibility from a demographic perspective as opposed to women. And you will find again in one of the resources that the LinkedIn takes the position that they are equity advocates, and there's no issue around white males versus everyone else getting greater visibility. Because there are people who are changing their their race and changing their gender just to test it out. And that's the point where they were making, actually, it's not the algorithm, it's about other factors that you might not be thinking about, that the algorithm actually isn't factoring in. So it's life.
Well said. Any last thoughts or questions from our audience? I, I promise a new, my next resolution of the day is to go to my LinkedIn page and thank you for bearing with it. And it's funny, I do make probably an age thing. My Facebook is where I talk about my children, my dogs, my vacations, my flowers.
We've got a
And
question
Cynthia
before we
has that
go.
raised hand.
Yeah,
Cynthia,
yeah, it's not really a question, but this session was so, so good. I'm so glad that you sent out that last email. And I just wanted to highlight how amazing Sonya is. Um, on the back end of this, I don't know if you said it or not, but you built that, right?
yes, I did.
Yeah, she
Yes, I
built
did.
the platform, and I strongly encourage using it. When she reviewed my profile, just like you, Robin, some eye-opening things. I was pretty good, but I still had areas of improvement. So anyone could take advantage of this. Thank you, Robin, for having this session. And Sonya, you're awesome.
Thank you,
Oh,
Cynthia.
she is the real deal. So, to all of you who missed the opening, we normally do this once a month, but we are gonna take this summer off of veg groups. We do this just to grow our community and to introduce people to people they should be doing business with. So I feel today, mission accomplished. Sonia, can't thank you enough. Can't thank all of you. Drew, we're gonna go like read your post.
Oh, please look, follow Cynthia and Drew.
Got it.
Please
I
do.
Got it. You have been such a help. And so we will see you in September. Feel free to sign up for virtual events group newsletters on our website. It's virtualeventsgroup.org. And we comment a lot on events, communications, and media. And I'm sure you all have plenty to say on those subjects. Thank you for being with us.
Thank
Talk
you.
soon.
Thank you, Robin. Thanks for having me.